Hello everyone. So this is your first assignment on how to distribute a negative. So when you're distributing a negative, there's two ways to think about it, and I'll show you both ways, and you guys can pick whichever method makes more sense to you. Technically, what this is saying is that when there isn't, just like if I had 2x plus y, what number is in front of the y? There's a 1. If I had 5x minus y, what number is in front of the y value? Well, it's really a negative 1. So when there isn't a number in front of a variable, it's really a 1, or in this case, a negative 1. So what number is really hanging out outside this parenthesis? It's really a negative 1. Okay? So it's negative 1. Now I need to talk about the math symbol that's in between this negative 1 and the parenthesis. So let me finish writing this for a second. Minus 5.9d plus 7.9. Okay? If I gave you this, what would you guys write for an answer? I'm hoping that you're going to say, well, here, let's do this. The calculator can do it too. So parenthesis 2, close the parenthesis, parenthesis 3, close the parenthesis, enter. What did it do? Parenthesis 4, close the parenthesis, parenthesis 5, close the parenthesis. What did it do? It multiplied. When you have parentheses, here, we can even do just one. How about 4, parenthesis 8, parenthesis? There's a time symbol there, just like there was a time symbol here. You don't have to write it. It's implied. It's understood. That's what it means. But there's a multiplication symbol here. There's a multiplication symbol that's hanging out right there. So this would be 6, because it's really 2 times 3. Okay? So there's a lot of information going on here. Now, that says negative 1 times everybody that's inside. Well, you guys should know, if I have negative 1 times 7, a positive 7, you get negative 7. If I have negative 1 times a negative 7, what do you get? Positive 7. If I have negative 1 times a positive 12, I get negative 12. If I have negative 1 times a negative 12, I get positive 12. So what does multiplying by a negative 1 do? It changes the sign. Negative 1 times a negative 9c becomes a positive 9c. A negative 1 times a negative 5.9d becomes a positive 5.9d. And negative 1 times a positive 7.9 makes a negative 7.9. So there is I'm hesitant to call it a shortcut, because I need you to understand what happened. This multiplying by negative 1 means change the sign of everybody inside. Change the sign of everybody inside, because you're multiplying them by negative 1. And when you multiply by negative 1, the signs change. Okay? Now this piece is not in the parenthesis. It does not know about this multiplying by negative 1 business. But when you multiply what's in the parenthesis by negative 1, you change its sign. It was a negative 5 or 1.5. And now this would be a positive 5, so it becomes a negative 5. And the plus 2 just goes along for the ride. It doesn't know about this negative 1. So that's your answer. This, it just changes the sign and everybody inside. It was a positive 3k, now it's a negative 3k. It was plus 8.1, now it's minus 8.1. It was plus 5, so now it's minus 5. You're finished. There's nothing more to do. This is sitting out front. It doesn't know about this negative 1 that came after it. So you're just changing the sign on this stuff. You're not changing the sign on what's out in front. So it becomes minus 7.4p plus 9.6. Okay? Now you're also going to have some review problems. Circumference. So you have to remember how to find circumference. 2 pi r. They're telling you the radius, and the radius is 6.3. So 2 times pi times 6.3. Round to the nearest tenth. So you're just going to take that and type it in your calculator. You see it. 2 times pi times 6.3. So 39.58. 39.58. Round to the nearest tenth. So you're looking at this number. It's 5 or bigger. So your answer is 39.6. Okay? This is the name of your assignment. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great one.